OK, it was a busy week of cup competitions, wasn't it? We had the Champions League, Carabao Cup, we've got the Europa League next week. Football is well and truly back. So we thought it was a perfect time to get our guests to give us their cup predictions. Get off the fence. Yeah. Give us a name.
I wonder who Buvey's going to say for most of these.
Yeah.
This is going to be a real question mark, isn't it? Let's start then with the Premier League, because we can talk about the cups coming up, but we'll get the big one out of the way. Buv, keeping it obvious.
Who is lifting the Premier League this year, Buvey?
Obviously, Arsenal are very close. They got a very good, decent points total last season. They will be the ones, if City don't win it, they'll be the ones to win the Premier League title. But until I see something crazy happen at the club, a lack of form, Guardiola leaving, Haaland not playing well, which none of those things are happening, you have to put City favourites. I don't think that's biased saying that.
Yeah, 6 of the last 7 Premier League titles have gone
Stick it up, Buv.
to Man City, of course, 4 in a row. But Cecil, you don't think about City this year? You're backing your boys?
Of course I'm backing Arsenal to go and do it this season. I mean, I think there was some fans, you know, a bit disappointed in our transfer window, but I think what we've shown defensively, I think resolute-wise, I think we're good in that department. I think as the season goes on, we'll build, and I think this will be our season. I really do believe it. It's the first season I've actually said that Arsenal outright going to win the league, and I think it's going to be close. Listen, City.
I seem to remember you having a T-shirt.
But I didn't say. I didn't. There's actually content online for context. I said that City will win it that year. I was just enjoying the month.
It's killed your ties now. I know. What makes you think it's different this year to last year? Because you have been, credit to Arsenal, have been so close, but it is a repetitive thing that we do see City always get over the line. Yeah. So what have you seen differently this year that makes? I just think the experience of obviously just missing out. I think the boys are you know, wanting it a lot more, going to want it a lot more this season. Also the fact that it was only 2 points last season we missed out on, and I think with the additions of Jurgen Timber, I think it was a big miss. I think last season, honestly, him coming in absolutely solid. Even Calafiori's, we yet to see a little bit more of him, but I think Jurgen Timber in there with our back line, the Salibas, Gabriels, and Ben Whites, that will win us games. I know people are going to talk about strikers and whatnot, but we'll get over the line this season. I really do believe that. OK, there we go. Next up, FA Cup. So who is lifting the FA Cup?
Wow.
Buvey straight in again with Man City.
I like the confidence, Buv.
It's only because back-to-back finals. I know we lost to Man United, obviously, last season. Lost to Manchester United. I think it was like Wigan for them, honestly. It was a massive moment for those guys, underdog story.
It was a big moment for United. I'm not going to deny that.
Fantastic. But ultimately, until I see a side in English, club football that can beat City, I just don't see how we at least get to the final again.
OK.
Yeah, I've agreed. I think Man City as well for FA Cup. I think they'll go on and win it. I mean, we're obviously the most successful team that have this trophy, but I think City needs to get some more FA Cups, and I think this will be their season. They go on and do it. And like you said, back-to-back finals. I think they're a quality side. They're a quality side, and they're going to take out a lot of the teams this season. They're not going to win the league, but the FA Cup, I'll give it to them.
Do you think he'll rotate a lot in the caps?
He rotates all the time.
No,
but some of those young players, like Oscar Bob and that, obviously has broken his leg now, but coming through. But players like James McAtee and that had a great pre-season. We haven't really been able to see him, obviously, since the arrival of Gundogan. But
yeah, no, I think McAtee had a fantastic season last season. Obviously struggled relatively with the club getting relegated, but he's a fantastic talent. Savinia's another one. Oscar Bob, like you said, is such an exciting young player. There's so many opportunities for City. We play so many football games. Obviously, the Club World Cup coming around as well. There'll be so many opportunities.
I think that's the interesting thing now with cup competitions. You often see a lot of the bigger teams, so to speak, rotating, but City have got the best bench of any team. So actually, when they do rotate, it's less noticeable, which would suggest they'd probably go furthest the most. Speaking of cups, should we do the next one?
See the Carabao, because it actually kicked off this week, didn't it, in a big way?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, people think I'm bantering you lads. Mourinho came to England. His first trophy was the League Cup, right? Guardiola, similar, obviously beat Arsenal. Aguero chipped the keeper. And I know Arteta's won the COVID Cup, but I don't count.
It's not a COVID Cup.
It is the
Stop
COVID
saying
Cup.
it's the COVID Cup.
Me and my friends call it the COVID Cup. The League Cup, you have to start. Yeah, but you have to start with basics. You have to start with basics, lads, in life. You start at the bottom and you build your foundation. And Arsenal have to win something. This generation of Arsenal players have won absolutely zero.
So would that be a successful season? Would that be a successful season? Arsenal winning the Carabao and then not winning anything else?
But they're meant to be the biggest club in London. Arguably not anymore because of Chelsea's success in Europe. So
we're bigger than you. We're bigger than you as well. So just
yeah, of course you are.
Come on, Buvey though. You're talking about the COVID Cup and that. Let's be real.
But why are you
we won the FA Cup though. So but why are you saying you need to build from the League Cup? We've won the FA Cup. There's teams. Mick Arteta's done that.
I was a whole different person during COVID. It's just a whole different world now.
Would that be a successful season? What Buvey said, League Cup and
listen, a lot of people turn their nose up at the League Cup. I'm not one of those fans. I think we haven't won the League Cup since, I think it was 94. It's before I was born.
1993.
93, so yeah, so before I was born.
So 2018, I believe.
Yeah, I would take the League Cup, but I don't turn my nose up at it. But it's not. the way it's passive aggressive, the way you're putting it across, like it's an insult to Arsenal to win that. But listen, yeah, I've gone with Liverpool for my pick.
Yeah.
Listen, I know they lost to Nottingham Forest, but they did start the season fast. I think Arne Slot's got them playing in the right way. I think, you know, this is the competition that finishes the earliest as well. It'll be done by January. I just think they've got to such a fast start. I think Liverpool will be the ones that pick it up.
It's not a bad shout. They have won the League Cup more times than any other team, 10. Obviously,
yeah, exactly.
they're the holders as well.
But do you think, like, just from an Arsenal's perspective, fans' perspective, just picking up on what Buvey said there, would you be happy if you finished the season with just the Carabao Cup this year?
Happy is the wrong emotion. I'm not going to be happy by it, but I'm not going to, like I said, I won't turn my nose up at it. I think I don't overlook silverware, regardless of what it is.
Would it be a successful season? Let's put it that way.
Well, if success is deemed by trophies, some would say yes. For me, I want one of the majors. I want one of the Champions League, Premier Leagues, or the FA Cups.
League Cup's a big trophy, man.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
It was for Ferguson. It was for so many managers.
I will be there celebrating it. I will enjoy it.
They spent 600 million quid in the last few years, and they've won 0. You have to have something in the trophy cabinet at the Emirates when you're doing those little tours, the little walk-around tours. At the moment, the's been no trophies in there since.
Enjoy all your trophies, Buvey. Listen, you love Saturday Social, you're in here quite regularly, but you might be on Championship chats next week. Let's just calm down.
I'll do the EFL show, 100%. Yeah. You've got my email.
We have got your email. OK, let's go to WSL then. Obviously kicked off last night. Chelsea winning 1-0 against Aston Villa. Epic title race last year, by the way. It went down to goal difference on the final day, and it went down to goal difference between these two teams that you've got, Man City and Chelsea, because Chelsea were victorious. And you think Chelsea will be victorious again? 6 in a row. They've got Sam Coe's unbelievable player. Lucy Bronze had a crazy transfer window as well. Chelsea's the only right answer, if I'm honest, in this discussion here. For the WSL, it has to be Chelsea. I mean, City and Arsenal we compete. City have been very close now. I know they took Viv Riedemar as well. You've got a good side, and I think it'll be us who competing with Chelsea for the WSL this season. But Chelsea, come on, 6 in a row. They're winners of this competition.
No, Chelsea the gold standard, of course, and I'm just backing City out of pure loyalty. I have to. It'd be great to see City win it. Do you know what I mean?
But they've got some unbelievable players. Great transfer, and they said Middlesbrough and pretty sure. OK, let's go to the Champions League, shall we?
So wait, hold on. So, Buvey, you're getting a quadruple from your men's and women's team right now. You're getting. No, not a quadruple in terms of the men's and women. But okay. But
the League Cup.
He's giving Arsenal the League Cup.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not.
Sorry, I gave that to you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But in your mind right now, okay. Sorry. So the treble. So you're gonna win every major trophy
in the Milk Cup. Honestly, it's your trophy to win.
Ridiculous.
Go on then. Champions League.
Go on then. The Champions League. Look, again, I think City haven't lost a game in normal time in the Champions League knockout stages for a very, very long time. Real Madrid on penalties, of course, and they justifiably won the Champions League last season. But this City side are built to go far in tournament after tournament. And I think Haaland is someone in the Champions League in the knockout stages that could do a little bit more. He'll be thinking that personally, I think. And I think if he can click and score big goals in the semis and the final.
Why do you think he hasn't done that?
I just think if Rudiger's getting told by Ancelotti to man-mark him, I think he brings other players into the game very well, Haaland. But look at Thierry Henry, he never scored a goal in a cup final. I think it's incumbent upon Haaland as a young player to develop and get better.
Who you gone with, Cecil?
Gone with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
15 times winners.
Yeah. This is the obvious answer. I mean, they've obviously added some quality to that team as well. Actually, in the league, though, we didn't really watch them. It doesn't seem like it's clicking, at all.
But how many times we said that and then they get over the line in the Champions League?
There you go. I think, and when you watch them in the Champions League, in their performance in the midweek as well, they were quality as well. Big up Endrick as well, scored a screamer. And they've got a quality side, and come on, it's Real Madrid. It only makes sense.
How do you feel about Arsenal in the Champions League this year? What's your sort of goal that you want to get to?
I want to beat what we did last season. Obviously, got to quarterfinals, got knocked out by Bayern.
You want to hit a semi-final this year?
Yeah, it'd be nice to hit a semi-final, even push. I mean, it's a big ask because it's the Champions League, but the final would be good as well. But winning it would be incredible. I just don't think we're there yet, personally.
Fair enough. Buvey was shaking his head.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
People are going to slag me off at home as a Man City fan in terms of European pedigree. I get that in terms of the history, of course I do. As a sporting project right now, Arsenal do not have the mentality to win the Champions League. When they approached the Bayern Munich game, they approached it like they were lucky to be involved. It was kind of a little bit of a lottery.
From who? Who approached it like that?
And I think you got bullied in both games. You obviously scored a couple of great goals, Saka in particular. But Bayern Munich just had this kind of pedigree. Anytime you face City, Real Madrid or Bayern Munich in the semi-final...
So why have you gone for City to win the Champions League? You're talking about pedigree. Real Madrid have the pedigree.
Of course, but what I'm hoping, honestly, as a fan, a neutral fan, I'm so lucky to see City do so well in the last couple of years in Europe. I'm so lucky. I want to see, as a football fan, a Man City Real Madrid final. And obviously Real Madrid could beat us in a final. But we've been playing them far too early in the tournament. I hope that through luck or whatever, we play them in the final.
So you mentioned Arsenal. Do you think it's a mentality thing? Because you mentioned that with the league. They have, to be fair to them, they've been very close in the league, pushing City, the Champions League.
but really close. I mean, no one remembers the silver medalist at the Olympics, with all due respect. You know, you've got to remember who comes first, and Arsenal haven't come first in anything for many, many years. Maybe they will in the next couple of years, but as we're sat here right now, they're nowhere near Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. They go into that game, they'd park the bus, and they'd pray for Saka to do something from 25 yards. That isn't a philosophy to win a European.
You're going to bite back in to do this?
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But listen, in the Champions League, I did mention, I don't think we're ready yet to win it. But you're disrespecting our club. Come on. Let's be real. We play good football, Buvey. Let's be honest. You know that as well.
Did.
What do you mean we did?
I think I saw a highlight on Twitter of Arteta ball 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. Unbelievable, free flowing. Emil Smith Rowe was fantastic, and you've really become really conservative. I think that will actually be at your discredit, because you have to go out and beat sides. It's all well and good away from home at the Etihad, praying for a 0-0. But you have to go away and take results and play progressive football.
We've got players missing. We've had injuries. It takes time. You know about City as well. Harsh. You guys start the season slow all the time as well and click into gear.
I'm talking about philosophies. This is Arsenal Football Club under Arsene Wenger. Even before that, the great George Graham sides. Attacking football, Robert Pires.
You've seen last season we was free. Like you just mentioned, was free flowing under Arteta. We're scoring. We're beating teams 6-5, 4-0. What are you talking about?
You do against Sheffield United last season, but ultimately against Bayern, we're talking about the Champions League against Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. I think you'll get found out.
It's the Champions League.
By the way, I think we've had this debate with Man City and Arsenal long enough. You mentioned Bayern Munich there. None of you picked him. I think it's worth talking about Bayern. Unbelievable first result. They look like they've started pretty well. Do you put them in that bracket as one of the teams that could lift the trophy as well?
Always, to get at least the semis and the quarters, that kind of place. But I think they lack a few world-class players, in my opinion.
Do you?
All right, let's go to the Europa League.
You'll be happy, Joe?
Come on.
I forgot they were in it. I thought,
you didn't forget.
I did, because they came 8th. I thought 8th isn't a European position anymore.
Yeah, but we won the FA Cup, didn't we? We beat you.
Yeah. Wow, so they let anyone in these days.
Such a wind-up.
He's a big one.
So if you'd have remembered United were in, you would have put us...
No way.
Truthfully, I didn't want to put United in on this, right, or Spurs at all. There was no way I was going to do that, but I actually at first had Roma, but obviously they sacked their manager this week as well. They got De Rossi, and I was going to go with Roma. I think they made a few finals as well. They have a bit of European, experience in there. But I've gone with Man
Serie A though, Roma. And
I know they haven't started well at all. Start. But Man United also haven't started well either. If I'm
but I know you laugh at Manchester United there being involved in this conversation. The Champions League campaign didn't go well last year, but Erik ten Hag's record in the cups is undeniably good. He's got to 2 FA Cup finals. He's won the Carabao Cup. Like, in knockout games, he seems to be able to get results over the line.
This is my thinking behind this. I think, he's won 2 trophies in 2
seasons. He focuses on them.
He wins trophies, but listen, I don't know if it's at your detriment if you keep him on anyway, because I don't mind him being there, because when I watch United, I keep Erik ten Hag.
Earlier you were talking about it being... Let's not be derided about the Carabao Cup and trophies.
Yeah, that'd be a big trophy for you to win as well. Maybe you can get to the final and play Arsenal in that final. But Man United
can't play Arsenal.
Can't play Arsenal. There's no drop down in the Champions
League. But you're currently 2 positions below where you finished last season. There's been no progress.
Games into the season. We're 4 games.
You spent another 200 million quid. I mean,
so why have you gone Gala?
Just because of Osman, I'm a massive fan of Osman, their home form, and it'd be nice to see a Turkish side do well. We saw a Greek side obviously do well in Europe last season. I'd like to see one of these countries that maybe don't have the best European representation in terms of winning things, and one of the biggest clubs in Europe.
What's interesting about this is we were looking at the Opta predictors, and with a lot of them, it's fairly as you'd expect. Man City for the league, Man City, Real Madrid for the Champions League. The Opta predictor for the Europa League is really open.
Wild.
Porto as favourites, then Athletic Bilbao, then Slavia Prague, then sort of Man United, Spurs, Lazio, Roma.
Atletico Bilbao,
it's quite an open competition.
Yeah, Atletico Bilbao, obviously they got Nico Williams, they got Iñaki Williams, as well. Got good attacking players. I think that they're on a good season as well. But I don't know. I thought favourites you kind of go, United in the Premier League.
But it's quite an open one, is what I mean.
It's definitely open. It's definitely open.
It's spent enough.
When you lost 2017 was under Mourinho. Yeah, under Mourinho.
Obviously we've lost the final since then as well when De Gea missed the penalty against Villarreal. So there's a semi-pedigree in that competition.
What was a good shot?
Let's get him up. Let's get him up.
Right, we'll go to the last one, Europa Conference League.
Tap it, is it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a must-win.
If they don't win this...
100%.
Oh, my days.
So many poor Chelsea sides that kind of, with Rafa Benitez, I'm thinking about, they kind of just get over the line and win things, do you know what I mean? I think Chelsea would love, their fan base would love to say they've won every version of the European Cup. They'd love to say that.
Yeah, I mean...
Interesting squad selection as well, wasn't it? You see the squad selection of the Conference Leagues were different.
They can change it when they get to the knockout.
They can change it when they get there,
They spent enough money, boys. They should be able to put out a squad enough to win this competition. I mean, there's, I think, Genks in there, Fiorentina. There's still some OK sides of the Conference League, but these have to be favourites.
OK, and they are favourites. A lot to predict. A 32% chance of winning. Betis in second with 17%. And Fiorentina in third, who lost the final last year to Olympiacos, I believe. So there is confirmation of who our guests think will win every trophy. If you don't know who Buvey supports, just look at the top line with all the Man City badges. There we go. But it could happen, to be fair. We've seen it before.